All right, let's see what happens. Hi, guys. Oh, all right. Just chopped off my head. It's still chopping off my head. That's okay. I'm glad I'm short. Okay, welcome. Hi, if you don't know me, I'm Lisa. Welcome to the Stoneware Workshop 2023. I actually did one last year. This one will be a little different because there's a few changes, but if you watched it last year, then you'll probably pick up a couple things. If you missed it last year, then you're in the right place. If you're watching the recording, let me know in the comments after I post, and let me know if you have any questions. So for those of you who don't know, Stoneware is probably one of the it's been in our line since the very beginning of Pampered Chef. So we are hitting our 43rd anniversary in a couple weeks. So it's been in the line from the beginning. And when you guys think of Stoneware, what's sort of the first thing you think of? You can shout out if you want to.
Now I have to unmute.
That's all right.
Actually, I do Brazilian cheese balls on there.
Cheese balls. Awesome. Ooh, that sounds delicious. So Kim, you're going to share that recipe with the crowd later, right?
Of course. Yes. I love them. Well, because they're gluten-free and they're like a bready, biscuity thing. So it's my substitute for biscuits or rolls for dinner.
That sounds awesome.
But I can share it.
I think most people think of, whenever I say Stoneware, they think of pizza. And actually, interestingly enough, the pizza stone is probably my least used stone in the house. Everybody has their favorite piece. I'll tell you guys mine in a few minutes, but it's just that I like, if I'm cooking, I'll tell you why I don't use the pizza stone as much as the other one, but in a little bit. But Stoneware has been around from the beginning of time, even before Pampered Chef. People started cooking in clay pots and storing things in clay pots long before we were using Stoneware. And so it's actually one of the oldest pieces of cookware around. So that's pretty awesome. I'm going to go with my notes because otherwise when I go rogue, forget about it. All right, so one of the reasons why I love cooking with Pampered Chef Stoneware, and I have many shapes and sizes, is I get consistent results every single time. So I know what to expect. When I cook on glass, I'm like, oh, is this gonna get soggy? Is it gonna stick to my pan? When I cook on metal, is my cookie sheet gonna like bend or warp in the oven? Are things going to burn? Do I have to stick tin foil on it? But I know when I use my stone, things will cook consistently and they'll cook evenly, and you really can't mess it up. So if you're not a great cook or not confident in the kitchen, Stoneware is actually a great product because you can, it helps build your confidence because there's so much that you can do with it. The other great thing about Pampered Chef Stoneware is all of our stones are made in the US and it is lead free. So there's no lead in our stone, which is great. So Kim, you shared you own Stoneware. What piece do you use the most?
I think it's the medium one, the one that you have right there by your left hand.
Oh, the bar pan, but the
bar pan
smaller than this.
Yeah, I use that for everything.
I use the mini because I use it in my air fryer a lot.
Yeah, so this one, Lori, that I have these brownies in that I'm gonna make in a minute. Is anybody else on? I don't know who else is on.
Also, my bread. I use the bread one a lot because I like the bread crispy.
Yes, I love the bread one. I once did a side-by-side comparison because I had a recipe. You know how some recipes come with two, it makes two loaves. So I had what I only had one loaf pan. So I used a metal and then I used a stone one. And I'm like, wow, let's see what happens. And the stone, the bread rose much higher. And it was more moist. So that was, so then I now have 2 loaf pans for when I have that recipe that says makes 2 loaves. So yeah, and then if you use the loaf pan, Lori, have you tried it for meatloaf?
No, because I make the mini meatloaves in my other Pampered Chef mini loaf
Okay,
pan.
got it. Well, if you ever want to make a regular size, it's also great. The loaf pan's also great for meatloaf. So yeah, everybody sort of has their own favorite shape and size. So in my house, my most used stone is the large bar pan. So you can see that this guy is very seasoned. This is actually a newer bar pan because my 15-year-old bar pan broke like 3 years ago. And if you have a seasoned stone, you know that I probably cried because I had to start over and season this again. So I love the bar pan because because it has a lip. So I can do pizza, I can do cookies, I can do a sheet pan meal, I can do brownies, I do fish, you can do nachos, you can do, bacon, anything you can imagine, a cake. I made a cake in here once. Anything you can imagine you would do on a sheet pan or a jelly roll pan, you can do in the large pan. So this is a great starter stone. It's one of the stones that comes in our starter set. Now you can see, like this stone I haven't used as much. When you first get your stoneware, it looks like this. And as you use it, it becomes more seasoned. So one of the best ways I recommend to season the stone is if you eat bacon, season anything that has a little bit of a lip. You could probably even do the pizza stone. Throw bacon on there, throw it in the oven at 425 for like 15 minutes. Those oils are going to help season the stone. Now, if you're not a bacon eater, that's totally fine. Put oil on your stone. So brush it with oil the first, I would say, dozen or so times as you cook with it. The oils from your foods are going to naturally season the stone. So when you have foods that are higher in fat, they're going to season the stone. If you eat pretty healthy, then you're going to end up oiling the stone more than somebody else would. And that's totally fine because that's going to give it this nice, so like if you were here, you can feel like, listen, it's really smooth. As it's seasoned, it gets this nice, smooth finish. So I'm actually going to cook these brownies. Yeah, so I did brownie batter. So this is not a full box. So I just put them in the small bar pan. I've never done this before, so I have no idea how long it's going to take. I'm going to guess 10 minutes and then we'll see how it goes. This guy fits right in our air fryer. And this also fits in the air fryer, the new square baker without the top. So this will fit right in the air fryer, which is awesome. And then, so I'm going to put this in on bake for 10 minutes and we'll get back to what we're doing. All right, so I'm going to put this on bake and we'll start with 10 minutes. Okay, so let's talk about the 3 kinds of stoneware that we have, because our stones have changed over the years. So we have our traditional stoneware that is all unglazed, and those are the stones that are on sale this month. So we have 2 styles. We have the original, which you could heat up to 450, don't put it in the dishwasher. You can put it in the oven, put it in the microwave. The new style, which is Stone Fusion, you can tell if you have Stone Fusion because it has this print on the bottom underneath this like sort of grid pattern. Our stone fusion was up, we upgraded this a couple of years ago, and you can use it, you can preheat the stones up to 500 degrees. So for example, if you wanted to preheat the stone and then throw your pizza on, throw your crust on, your crust is gonna get nice and crispy. The second thing is you can put all of our stoneware now goes in the dishwasher. Now, that's weird to me. I'm going to tell you right now, coming from a 19-year-old seasoned pampered chef consultant. If I don't put my stones in the dishwasher, I probably never will. When you put stones in the dishwasher, it will take longer to season. So just be mindful of that. You can if you want to. They're all dishwasher safe now, but it will take longer to season the unglazed pieces. Okay, so all right, let's see. Where was I? I'm lost in my, all right. Oh, the types of stoneware. Okay. So I'm gonna just stick that on the floor. All right. So the other thing we have is our partially glazed pieces. All right. Oh, all our stoneware is warranted for 3 years, which means if it breaks, then take a picture of it, send me a message, and we can get that replaced for you. All of our stoneware now will do a picture return. So our new partially glazed pieces are all white. So they have a white matte finish on the outside, and they're unglazed on the inside. They are also dishwasher safe. They can go in the oven and the microwave. The only stones that can go under the broiler are the fully unglazed pieces. Those are the only ones that can go under the broiler. So this 8x8 is one of our new sizes. We didn't have a square one for a while, so we brought that back. I'm gonna take the rest of this brownie batter, throw it in here, and cook these in the oven. When you're using your stones, just a few tips since we're talking about the glazed, and I haven't used this a lot, clearly. So my brownies might stick. So I'm going to spray it. Do not repeat after me. I swear I will never use Pam or any canned aerosol in my stoneware because it will get sticky and yucky. No, no, no. So you're gonna spray it. You can brush it with oil. You can spray it with oil. I don't oil everything. When I do any of my quick breads, I oil it. When I do my brownies, I oil it because they don't have a ton of fat in them. So I don't want things to stick, especially the breads because I'm flipping it over. So I do oil it. So I sprayed a little oil in here. I'm gonna put the rest of my brownie batter in. I'm gonna pop it in the oven. So I'll just do that later. So there's that. Finally, so depending on what you like to cook, you can do so that square, you could do a hot dip in there. You could do brownies in there. You could do a few pieces of chicken in there. You could do a small roast in there. You could do apple crisp in there. I just did apple crisp in my round one. You can do apple crisp in a pie plate. You can do a hot dip in a pie plate. So think about the sizes that you have. If you have some sizes and you're like, hey, Lisa, I'm not sure what to do with these, drop me a message, send me a message and say, hey, what can I cook in that? Because I haven't really used it that much and I can give you some ideas. You can also get ideas on my website, and I'll post a few of these things after the workshop is done. You can search on stoneware, and then you'll get all recipes pertaining to stoneware. Now, the last line we have is the fully glazed line. So these are beautiful. These are great as serving pieces just by themselves. I use these as serving pieces all the time. This is the medium tray, and I can, you do cheeses, you can do charcuterie, you put your cookie treats on here. I do like, I'll put a meal on here to serve for my family. All good. You can also cook on these up to 450. Now, I will warn you, so the nice thing about this is if you're having a party, say, and you're doing appetizers or something. So normally you start on a cookie sheet or a stone, and then you bring it out and you're like, oh my God, I gotta put it on a platter. Well, that's double dishes, right? So who hates dishes? I hate dishes. I'm like the queen of one pot. So here I throw my stuffed mushrooms on here, I pop them in the oven, I take them out, I serve my guests, boom. I don't have to put it on a different platter. I only have one pan to wash. These can go right in the dishwasher. They clean up easy. So that's why I love these pieces. A couple things about cooking with stoneware in terms of like cautionary tales. If you've had a stone crack, you're probably sad. Stones can crack. There are things we can do to prevent them from cracking. One of stones crack for a few reasons. One is thermal shock. So if you say you preheated a stone and then you put a frozen pizza on it, it potentially could crack because you have a frozen pizza, super hot stone. So that's called thermal shock. So what you want to do is if you have something frozen that you want to cook, you want to bring it to room temperature, put it on your stone, put it in the oven. The other thing is the use and care says 2/3. I strongly recommend 3/4. So for example, say you were cooking a roast. I'll use this as an example. If you have a roast and you just put it on this big stone, the way the stone works is the heat radiates towards the food because that's where the food is and it's going to cook. So all the heat's radiating towards the center. If there's not enough even distribution across the stone, your stone could crack. So we recommend 2/3. I do find every once in a while, even with the 2/3, I've seen them crack. So I try to tell people 3/4. So like if you're just doing a little roast, you might want to put it on the medium bar pan instead. You know what? I'm 2 people now. I still use this all the time. Because I'm going to put my meat on here, I'm going to throw my veggies on, and then we have meals for a couple days. So we're just going to get those leftovers. So those are my recommendations in terms of like making sure your stone doesn't crack. But again, it does have a 3-year warranty. If it cracks, take a picture, send it to me. We'll get it fixed. Finally, cleaning. Yes, they are dishwasher safe. However, if you have a stone that feels a little bit greasy, I find it with the unglazed pieces more, especially if you're cooking something high in fat, like reheating Chinese food, pizza, anything that's like bacon, anything that's greasy. What I do is, this is the old style, but I keep a sugar shaker of baking soda next to my sink. And this is great for other cleaning purposes. And I just shake a little on my stone, put some hot water on, and just scrape it. The scrapers are now blue. I just scrape it with my scraper, let it sit, and that's going to absorb any extra grease, and that's going to give it this nice, and it's going to make it nice and clean. So so that is a great way to clean your stones. Pause for a second. We're going to check on the brownies. So I'm so excited. I'm always excited when I do something for the first time live. And I have no idea if it's gonna work. Oh yeah. Oh my God, this is so awesome. Look at this. All right. So I have my brownies. Let's see how they came out. Let me grab my cake tester. And then yeah. And then we'll talk about, oh, look at that. But if you see, so the stone, let's see if I get this. The brownies pulling away from the sides. This is going to be nice and delicious. So that was, so those of you who have the air fryer, if you have this little guy, I literally just poured kind of to the top or a little bit underneath, cooked in the air fryer on 350 for 10 minutes. Probably could have gone 8 minutes if you like ooey gooey brownies, but we're gonna let that cool. All right, let me see what I forgot. So I think I covered this, but don't let the name of the stone sort of send you astray. So if you have a bar pan or a pie plate, for example, you can do more. You can make a pie, but you can do a dip. You can do roasted vegetables. You can do, the pie plate is a great size, right? So you could do a hot dip in here. You could roast some vegetables in here. Do an apple crisp in here. You could do a big cookie in here. So try to think out of the box, because then you're going to get more out of the stones that you have. I recommend starting with a flat stone. I tell people to start with the bar pan because it's more versatile than a pizza stone. Pizza stone, because it doesn't have a lip. That's just what I recommend people start with. And then, but that starter set, which is the bar pan, pizza stone, loaf pan, that's a great way to start as well, because you kind of get a little bit of everything and you're getting a lot of flexibility there. I told you guys stones can go in the microwave. Things you might do in the microwave are, I want to reheat this hot dip. I want to toast nuts on my little bar pan. I didn't pull it out, but I have the big 9 by deep cover baker with the lid. So you can throw in chicken, peppers, onions, put the lid on, pop it in there, and in 15 minutes, it's done. You can put all the ingredients in for a lava cake mix, drop frosting on the top, put it in the microwave, 10 minutes, you're done. Pasta with some water, and then cook that for like 10 minutes. It's done. Take it out, add some fresh veggies and some rotisserie chicken, put it in for another 3 minutes, done. And then you have dinner in 20 minutes. So there's so many things you can do. There's a great quinoa recipe that you can do in the microwave, either in the deep baker or the rock, which is with stoneware. But yeah, so many things. Okay, dishwasher, All right, so any burning questions that I didn't address? You guys can unmute if you're still there.
I'm here, but I don't have any questions.
Did you? Oh, no questions, so that's
No
good. Lori, are you still there?
I am. I just have no questions, but I have a comment. I won't put my stoneware in the dishwasher either. It's just
You do
habit.
or you don't?
I do not. It's just habit.
No, it's sacrilege. Yeah, some people do, and it's okay, but now it's okay, but
no.
it will take forever to season. Trust me. Yeah.
It's just not
when
natural.
they told us this, we like cried. We're like, what? That makes no sense, huh? That's crazy talk.
And I'm
just
thinking,
so think of stoneware as cast iron. Like,
yes.
the more you season it, the better your food is, the better it cooks, the better the taste. Like my pizza crust comes out like awesome every time when I do because I do my pizzas on my rectangle because I can fit 2 rectangles side by side in my oven. That's why I don't use a round stone. I
Yeah.
almost, because
I just my round.
I can't.
I
can
don't
get
use
my
the round
pizza
stone a
rectangle
lot.
much easier than I can a circle.
I don't use the round one a lot, but I have had it the longest. It was probably my first piece ever.
Yeah, and yes, and it is useful because I do nachos. You can reheat on it. You can definitely do pizza. Like I got my mom a round one, and I spent a lot of time with her last year, so I stayed at her house quite a bit. And so we made pizza. I had to make pizza essentially once a week. This was like a requirement of my stay. So I taught her how to make pizza. She still hasn't made a pizza on her own. I wrote it down, but my trick is I put the dough in the oven with the stone on the stone for 5 minutes, 425. I take it out, I flip the dough like over, and then I cook, and then I put my toppings on, and then I cook it for like the 15 minutes that I have left. And my crust comes out really crispy. Another tip is you preheat the pizza stone, then you put the dough on, then you put your toppings on. I just have trouble getting it spread out well, so I don't do it that way. But that's another thing to do. And that's much easier to do on a round than a rectangle. Preheating the stone and then putting the dough on is easier to do on a round, I feel, because you can do it on the pizza peel and just slide it on. I guess you could do it on a cutting board and slide it on. Now that I think about it, so that's good. All right, so there's that. So so that's kind of like in a nutshell, sort of different things. I'm going to share some recipes after the workshop and just a few other tips. Oh, really? Cat. And then so I have to wash that. Like I didn't put the brownie batter in there yet. So for October, all of our unglazed pieces are actually on sale for 15% off. Which is awesome. It's a great time to stock up on Stoneware, and I am running a shared rewards party now as well. And Kim, I don't know if you know what that is because it's been a while since we've connected. So what that means is, or for those of you guys who don't know what shared rewards is, if you're watching this replay, is it's a party where the higher the sales, the higher the discount is, maxing out at 25% off. And I think every shared rewards party I've done with you guys has hit the 25% off because it doesn't close until all the orders are in. It runs for 7 days. So it's running for till Sunday. So in addition to 15% off, you would get whatever that discount is if you're looking to stock up or do some gift shopping for unglazed pieces. And then all of our stoneware is on sale for hostesses of live parties and fundraisers for host reward parties and fundraisers for the month of October. And you can get up to 2 pieces at 60% off. So if there's some higher price pieces that you're eyeing, it's a good time to stock up on that. So those are sort of the specials that we have. And all of our baking mixes are actually on sale for 15% off. Some are gluten-free, but most of them are not, just for those of you who are gluten-free. I think our brownie mix and our chocolate chip cookies are gluten-free. The other ones are not, unfortunately. Yeah, so that's it on that. Do you guys have any questions? Let's see what these brownies look like if they actually worked. My quality control does not like to come on camera. My other quality control is at college. He does like to come on camera. If you've ever watched a video with my son, he's he loves to participate. This is it. All right, so I lied. Probably needed 12 minutes. It's still gooey on the top, so I'm gonna put them in again. But just so you can see, like, I flip this. Look at how clean that is, like when you take the brownie out. So it really came out very clean. It really is non-stick, and this isn't even super seasoned. So, so that's one of the great things about stoneware. If this was a metal pan, it would be a lot harder. I'm gonna put this in probably for 5 more minutes because it's been out for a little bit. Could be having brownie disaster, but that's okay. We're pampered, not perfect. So that's it. So thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully you learned a few tips and tricks of stoneware. If you want to take advantage of the specials that are going on this month, you can drop me a comment. If you're watching this replay and you have burning questions, please let me know. And I think, yeah, and if you have a stone and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't taken it out of the box, I haven't used it. Now that I've like heard some of these awesome ideas, I'm not sure what to do first. Definitely send me a message and I can give you some ideas, or even comment in the group, because if you have a question, I bet somebody else has a burning question, or somebody else in the group's been in your shoes and be like, hey, I use this for that. I use this for that. So definitely ask your questions, because we're here to help and add value. So I'm going to stop the recording.